Hello and welcome to the Hot Corner. I'm your host, Drew Mayans, and today I have the pleasure of sitting down with Justin Johnson from Poughkeepsie, New York, and this is Darkside Records. Justin, how are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
I'm pretty good. Ready to talk a little vinyl?
Absolutely.
Okay, first and foremost, are you a record collector?
Yeah.
How did you get into the hobby?
I just sort of always had a love for records, and I remember being young and being curious about them, and I got a little older, then I started buying them at, garage sales and Salvation Army, places like that.
Do you remember what your first record was?
I do, actually. As a kid, my parents had given me some of their records. I remember the first one I ever really played was Elvis's 66 Comeback Special or something like that.
Wow, okay.
76 Comeback Special, maybe?
Oh, nice. What convinced you that this hobby was right for you?
I just knew, it's all about the sound quality and the art and the hunt.
Yeah, for sure. So there's always been people that say that records have a better sound quality than anything else. Is this true? And if not, what is it about them that captivates listeners and makes vinyl stand out?
It is true, because it's a really analog medium, so the music is physically pressed into the record. Whereas with digital, it's ones and zeros and code, and the player actually gets to decide, there's a gap between those numbers, and it gets to decide what decision to make as opposed to just playing back as it was meant to be.
What makes Darkside Records unique?
We're an indie record store, so it's fairly unique to itself nowadays, although indie record stores are on the rise. It's unique because we have a wider selection, new and used, vinyl, CDs, cassettes. We sort of have something for everyone instead of just, top 20 mass market.
Was the store named after any special famous album in particular?
It was, actually, Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon.
Of course. How has your store evolved over time?
We've grown dramatically since we opened in January 2011, and if you look back at pictures of that, it looks like the store was empty.
Yeah. Is there any particular thing that you haven't sold yet that you're looking into selling in the future?
Like new item?
Just any sort of music. I see that you have all sorts of things on the walls, and
I mean, I'm always excited to sell anything. So.
Yeah, for sure. I can tell there's all sorts of cool stuff around the shop. So Record Store Day has become an annual tradition among select record stores nationwide, and I know you guys are carrying for Record Store Day this year. And that was founded in 2007. What do you believe is the significance of this holiday?
I think that it's significant in that it's celebrating the independent record store. Like, obviously the releases are the draw, but it was created to get people to come back to indie record stores.
Yeah.
And it's, obviously really worked because it's huge now.
Yeah. Record Store Day is celebrated on the third Saturday of April, and this year it'll take place on April 18th. Is there anything special in store for us this year?
Well, there's like 500 plus exclusive releases coming out. We always have a big sale, and it's just overall just the the camaraderie of hanging out with other people and the store being so busy that day.
Yeah. What do you make of the recent record reissues of bands such as the Beatles and Led Zeppelin? Would you rather own the new remastered versions or the original copies?
I think to each his own.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of times original copies can be hard to find or expensive.
Yeah.
So if you can get a nice clean copy for a fairly reasonable price, I don't see anything wrong with that. And everybody's got their own bag, so...
Yeah, definitely. Which musicians in the industry today seem to do the best job of giving their physical copies an extra meaning?
Undoubtedly, Jack White would have to be on the list.
Wait for that answer.
Pretty much anything he does is unique in some way.
Yeah, for sure. I saw Jack White live in Madison Square Garden earlier this year, and he puts on a great show. Many people seem to get the feeling that with Apple's music takeover, as well as streaming services such as Spotify, Pandora, and now Tidal, that buying CDs and records isn't worth it anymore, especially due to the higher costs for vinyl and the need for a turntable, among other additional components. How would you sway them to overlook these obstacles?
I don't think it's about swaying people. I think it's about people who have basically already made up their mind about what they want to buy. If you just want convenience, then digital and streaming is for you. If you want to really hear it and be a part of it, then physical is probably more for you.
In 2014, paid downloads for albums and songs decreased from 1.26 billion total downloads to 1.1 billion. However, according to SoundScan and Nielsen ratings revealed in a Wall Street Journal article, vinyl record sales saw a 53% increase. While the sales are still nowhere near comparable to digital downloads in totality, what do you think this says about the future of records?
That it's not a fluke.
Yeah.
That major labels need to see it as a real thing, and we need more pressing plants, because that's a big issue in the country right now, where records are really delayed, and it's not going anywhere.
Yeah. Who's buying all these records, and is it safe to say vinyl is cool again?
I would say it's definitely cool again. I don't think it was ever really not cool, to be honest.
True.
True. People think that vinyl went away, but it actually didn't. It's changed what's popular over time.
Yeah. Are there any records you consider a holy grail to your collection, something you'd like to add in the future?
Oh, man. So I have just a huge list of records I would love to find. Yeah, I could spend literally thousands and thousands of dollars on records if I had it.
Do you have any long-term goals for your collection or for the store in general?
The store, we just want to keep growing. I think we're pretty well anchored in Poughkeepsie at this point, and I'd like to just see us keep growing and more people find us. And me, I just want to buy more records.
Yeah, don't we all? Finally, what kind of advice would you give someone looking to start their own new collection?
It's easy to get caught up in wanting the rarest pieces, but I would say don't skimp on your turntable. It's easy to buy, a little all-in-one turntable, but if you really want to experience what vinyl is actually about, save a little bit more money, get yourself a slightly nicer turntable, and you'll be rewarded beyond belief.
That sounds great. Well, thank you so much for your time, Justin, and everyone, please be sure to check out Darkside Records, located on 782 Main Street, Poughkeepsie, New York. Visit www.darksiderecordsandgallery.com to see what they may have in store for you, and mark your calendars to come out to Poughkeepsie on April 18th to celebrate Record Store Day. For the Hot Corner, I'm Drew Mayans. Have a wonderful day.